Hello, everyone, and welcome to another in the series of Vegans Across the World. Today, we have Alice and Noel in Setúbal, Portugal. So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Thank you.
inviting us.
So, what I'm
Pleasure.
going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you and everybody. When I do this, I'm going to leave our screen, and I just want you to let me know if you see the world map when I do this. Find my map. There we go. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
great. We are going to zoom in on your little red dot in the world. I gotta fly. You're very near Lisbon, which I think
Yes.
most people are familiar with. Wow, that looks like it. I mean, being on the coast already, I looks like a nice area. So
It is.
I just love coastal areas. So there you are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give people a little bit of information about Portugal. So Portugal is a southern European country on the Iberian Peninsula, bordering Spain on the Atlantic Ocean. Portugal is the oldest country in Europe, and Lisbon is said to be 4 centuries older than Rome. The Phoenicians settled there in around 1200 BC. If I pronounce anything wrong or anything like that, you just let me know. The Bertrand bookstore in Lisbon's Chiado district
Mhm.
was established in 1732 and is the world's oldest bookstore. It would only follow that the University of Coimbra, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coimbra, yeah.
Okay, is one of the world's oldest universities. It was established in 1290. It's one of the world's top surf spots.
Yes.
Yes.
Ferdinand Magellan is from Portugal. He was the first person to complete a trip around the world.
Actually,
Port
that is not true.
Oh, it's not okay. Let me know. That
Yeah,
I'm glad you
he
told me.
he died before he accomplished that. But the
Sorry,
story
yeah.
that people tell is that he was the first one to do it, but it was like some miles away from doing it when he died on a
So
fight in the
he was the
island.
first one to give it a good attempt.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
thank you for telling us that. I should have looked into it. I mean, I know the name obviously, but it's I should have looked into my history a little bit, but that's good to know. Port wine is the most famous export and national drink, and you're also the world's largest cork producer. I believe you
Hmm.
have like cork forests. I was looking up like
Yes.
they're only allowed to cut the bark off the tree. It's cork off the trees like every 9 years, and it doesn't hurt the
Yes,
Hmm.
trees.
yeah.
So and though they were a major player in global slave trade, they were also the first colonial power to abolish slavery, some
Hmm.
50 years before Britain, France, Spain, and the U.S. Portuguese is the official language of 9 other countries, as well as Goa in India, which I did
Mm.
not know. That's very interesting, and I think this is really interesting. The Japanese dish tempura was actually invented by Portuguese traders and missionaries living in Nagasaki, and it spread across Japan during the 16th century. They also introduced guns and modern weaponry to Japan, and some Japanese words even have Portuguese origins.
Hmm.
Yes.
They also had the world's largest Santa parade in 2010. Did
I
you know
didn't
that?
know that. No.
with
No.
with 14,963 Santas parading through the streets of Porto,
Oh
which
my
was a
gosh.
world record.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And there is a population of 10.31 million as of the 2020 census. So, what I'll
Hmm.
do is I'll stop sharing my screen and I will get back to us. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this because it gives us a wider view of you guys since there's 2 of you with us today. So,
Hmm.
again, Alice and Noel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you guys are very busy, so we'll go ahead and get at it. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourselves. For example, what is it that you do and what kind of activism are you involved in?
So we are both full-time activists for the Animal Save movement. We have a chapter here in Portugal that works in all sorts of different kinds of activism. We do street activism, political activism, but we also do a lot of rescuing, and we run a rehabilitation center for animals that we rescue from the industry, and from abandonment, from maltreatment, all different types of situations.
And that
And
would be the title that you guys are putting up there, Animal Save and Care for
mhm,
Portugal?
that's
Okay.
the name of our
Yeah.
chapter. And we work nationwide. And yeah, we've been dedicating ourselves completely to activism for the past 3.5 years.
Wow. That's amazing. That's really
You want to
amazing.
say
And I
anything?
have go ahead, Noel. We haven't heard from
No, she's just told. I think almost everything.
Yeah, very briefly.
Very briefly.
It is pretty brief because I'll be honest, I looked up some of the stuff you guys do and it's just amazing. It's just nonstop pictures of activism. I'm a little
Yeah.
jealous, to be honest with you, and I don't know where you get so much energy because I take care of dogs, and I know you guys are working on a sanctuary, and it's like,
Yeah,
it's exhausting sometimes, to
it
get out
is.
there on the streets like you do. It's amazing.
It's
But
24/7.
yeah, yeah. Well, more power to you. So let me ask you, where are you originally from? Are you both from the area that you're in now?
I'm from the village where we're at. I was born here. And you?
I'm from the north of the country. I'm from a city in the north called Braga. So
Braga.
yeah, it's in the
Okay.
north. But I moved to Lisbon. I don't know, almost 15 years ago, and I started to do my activism in animal rights activism there also. And then I met Alice a few years ago, and we started this journey together. Also, it's like that, and now we are here. This
Mhm.
point, we were never expecting. We were not expecting being here doing this now, but the destiny took us here, so we are
That's
doing it.
amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about what the culture and the food like is there? And since Noel, since you're from the north of Portugal and you moved down, can you tell us if you saw any difference in the cultures?
About what?
Like
The
diet.
food and the culture. I
Oh,
know food has a lot to do with culture
yeah.
everywhere.
Mhm.
So,
It's very
but
different.
and also tell us what it's like where you are, and then also like where you came from, if you saw any difference.
Yeah, in the north, I used to tell this story to people because I was born in a small town, and the way I was raised and the way I was being fed, I think is the
Mhm.
right word, is really has a lot of differences from what the people that I met here, more in the south and around Lisbon. Because, for example, I became vegan. It was really easy for me because I used to love everything that was vegetables and beans and greens. That was for me a fun plate. Was a plate full of greens and beans and a little bit of meat because yeah, you were supposed to eat meat. What you were told. But when I came to Lisbon, I saw people practically eating only meat and
Yeah.
something aside. So the it has, I think, it has something to do with privilege and having like more
Abundance. Yeah.
abundance. So people kind of use this like a showing how they are wealthy.
Wealthy.
Uh, for me it was a shock, and then it was when I started to do activism against all this madness of eating animals like crazy that society do nowadays. So I think that was the turning point for me.
Awesome. And Alice, what about you? Growing up where you are now,
Mhm.
What is food?
I have a kind of different maybe for most people because my family had a pig factory, and the land where we have the sanctuary now was used to raise cows for meat, and also the pig factory is still on the other side. Now it's empty; it's not running anymore. But I was raised eating animals, only just eating animals, and it was really hard. Like it's not traditional here to eat a lot of vegetables, but in my case, it was even worse because
Yeah,
I only like to eat animals, so it was the vegetables were not so much part of the diet. I had a different experience to Noel. It was harder for me to change the habit, but I did it for the animals, so it really didn't matter if I liked it or not. I just had to retrain my brain. But the food here is very based on animals from the ocean and animals from land, mostly pigs and fish. That's what people here eat the most. And yeah, they don't eat a lot of vegetables, unfortunately. It's not very traditional.
yeah,
They eat rice and pasta and
Yeah.
and potatoes.
yeah. They got. Well, that sounds very American, actually.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
To be honest. But yeah, I mean, most coastal areas they are surrounded by the animals from the sea. Are on the plates a lot, and but I can imagine like what a big switch it was for you. Your family actually had the business of
Yes.
raising pigs.
Yeah, I grew up watching the piglets inside with their moms, and
Did you ever see
yeah.
the slaughter?
Yes, many times.
Yeah.
I
And how
was one
old were
of
you?
those kids that was very I was very speciesist in the way that I watched animals when I was until I was like 11. I could see the pigs, and we would do a lot of barbecues right after killing the pig, which is a tradition also here in Portugal. And it was just because I was raised watching this, my brain didn't actually question itself. It was just the norm. I was completely obsessed with other animals, but the ones that I ate were just the ones that I ate. But
Sure.
then I started questioning after I became 12, and yeah, the change started then. My brain woke up.
Yeah, that kind of feeds into my next question, which is how long have you been vegan? So each of you could answer me how long have you been vegan?
I've been for 10 years.
Okay.
yeah. For me, I don't recall the exact time. I just realized a lot of years ago that I was not eating animal products anymore. But my journey started in 2007. It was when everything started to change in terms of being more aware of the animal abuse and starting to meet this new reality of veganism. Because it was when I came to Lisbon. It
And you
was
started seeing the heavy meat
yeah,
consumption.
and meeting people and seeing new realities, new ideas, new ways of living. It was a learning process, and after a while, I was just okay. I changed somehow. I changed, and I was not eating animals or milk or eggs or anything.
Yeah, that I mean that segues into the second part of the question, which is what made you want to? I mean, Alice, especially with you, your family raising pigs and the mindset that you were in, you were so deeply entrenched in that. And
Hmm.
it was the family business, but you started to change as a child. But I mean, like, when did the family business shut down?
It shut down years before I became vegan, but I left Portugal and I lived many years outside of it, and that's the cutting of that connection really helped me grow. So I didn't have that emotional bond that people we all have. We all have emotional bonds to food, and we relate eating animals with family or with friends or whatever. And the experience of leaving Portugal made me be freer from all these restraints, and it really helped. That's how it became a reality. because I became a pescatarian when I was 17, and back then, because my diet was so terrible, I became sick. And when I was 17 with a chronic illness, and my doctor said I couldn't eat any vegetables. So I had to go back to eating all kinds of animals. I could only eat animals and potatoes and rice. It was like,
He was like,
how
go back to what you
possible?
used to do.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just go back to what made me sick in the first
Yeah, go
place.
back
But
and end the service and the business.
yeah, so when I left Portugal, I was 21, and I started changing and detaching myself from all this traditions and what had to be, and it just became so much easier because I could be a different person. I didn't have all these attachments anymore. But it took years because I was really the kind of person that only ate animals. I didn't like to eat anything else really. So it was hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up like that. It's just like American children, like,
Mm,
people talk about, my kid's such a picky eater. Well, what have you been feeding them?
mm,
You've been feeding McDonald's Happy Meals all their life.
exactly.
Of course they don't want to eat broccoli because you've been feeding them Happy Meals and chicken McNuggets.
Exactly.
You know.
I had a very typical American diet.
Yeah,
Basically, I would
bacon.
eat McDonald's every week.
Yeah,
And I would
yeah,
eat,
they're everywhere, so I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
doubt that.
I was
Wait,
lucky. I'm older, so McDonald's when McDonald's came to Portugal, I was already in my 20s or something like that. So
really?
no,
That
yeah.
couldn't have been
So
that long ago.
It
it
was.
was it was
Well, I was 8,
yeah.
9.
I'm 46, so it was like
Mm,
20. Yeah, I think it was on my 20s when McDonald's came. So I didn't have this period of growing, wanting to go to McDonald's with all the publicity and stuff.
mm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah, but what?
52, and I remember growing up with McDonald's, but
Mm,
I'm in the United
yeah,
States, so
yeah, of
yeah.
course.
there
It's
you go.
different. But what made me change was the animals. It was just simply that, just compassion for animals. I didn't care about not liking vegetables. It didn't matter to me. I would find a way.
So,
Because when I woke up, I just woke up. I could not unsee what I saw from the perspective of the animals, which I didn't see before, like really.
so how did that? What flipped that switch in you? I mean, I was going to ask you, like, what made your family shut down the business first of all, but
My
then,
my it was just my granddad just got old, and he closed down the pig factory and he got sheep instead.
oh, so he just
It was
just
not the
got it
end of
right.
it. It was just a change on the business.
But being, like you said, not making that connection whatsoever, and seeing pigs in such a different, like, with no emotion whatsoever when you were
Hmm.
growing up. Going from that, what really flipped that switch for you to suddenly see it from their perspective?
Compassion changed it all. It's like when you start seeing everything from their perspective and not from your
Selfish.
But I
yeah,
mean, what
it's
do you think changed your perspective? Was it a documentary? Was
everything.
it
I
a
I
fellow?
I,
Was
I
it a
changed
friend?
so much over the years. I completely changed the way I was, and I became more aware of the suffering in the world, and their suffering was even more intense than all the other animals, because I used to eat the animal I used to eat more was pigs. And when it became real that we were the same, when I came to this realization, it was just,
So it was just multiple things. It
it
wasn't
was,
one
yeah.
thing, like a
No, no,
documentary
no.
might set
No, it
somebody off.
wasn't a
It wasn't like that.
documentary. No.
It wasn't.
It was many, many things
Did
combined.
you have a lot to deal with, to unpack emotionally, when you finally came to that realization with what you'd grown
Yes.
up with and what you'd witnessed?
It was very, very painful.
Yeah, I can
It was
imagine.
really painful. Yeah.
I can
Because
imagine.
I had so many situations where, like, a normal vegan wouldn't even be in, it's just so much suffering that it just passed me by. Just I was not connected. I
Yeah.
was not present with them. I completely had this barrier that divided species. It was really real to me.
Usually it's the normal.
Yeah, but most people, if they don't have contact when they're young with these animals, if they see some of them get slaughtered, they will feel compassion for them. They will see the suffering and feel that it's horrible. I remember feeling, yeah, that it was bad, but afterwards I would eat the animal that was killed, and I
Sure.
didn't really care
Well, there's
when
a
it was
different
killed.
there's a different level of conditioning there.
Yeah, yeah, it is,
But you
and it was
you
really
you
strong.
uniquely, I think that helps a lot with your activism because
Hmm.
you have the perspective when we have the non-vegans come up against us, you have that
Yeah,
perspective of I was the farmer or the slaughterhouse worker or the butcher
yeah,
or whatever, those type of people
it helps.
that could say, "Listen, I know it," or I was the hunter or whatever. I'm the ex-hunter or whatever. I was you. So don't get to come
Yes.
up here and
Exactly,
tell
that's what
me.
I do normally. Yeah, because a lot
And
of
to be
people.
honest, we don't get that a lot. Not a lot in the movement. At least I haven't seen it from women.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
You
That's
know,
true.
so you even have more of a unique perspective, and probably quite surprising when people try to argue with you from that point of view.
Yeah,
And
because the majority of men that will start this conversation, they look at me as if I'm a city person, that I always lived in a flat and I had no contact with the real world, what they
sure,
call it, the real world. And then I tell them my story and they just become speechless. Like, okay,
yeah, they have nothing to
yeah.
argue with.
I don't know what to
Wow,
tell you anymore. Yeah.
wow. So what about you, Noel? You said that you just kind of you're not sure when it happened. Do you remember any kind of sort of switch? Was it did you start getting exposed to documentaries? What was it for you?
I, I was always a very political person, so I was doing activism for a lot of stuff since I was like a teenager. Um, Everything about feminism and racism and all that kind of social issues that we are still dealing in society. So I remember one day. I remember when this really hit me. I remember that moment. I was in the big supermarket in Lisbon, in the biggest one, like in the biggest shopping center there exists. It's one of the biggest in Europe. I just remember entering the place. It was my first time there, and I went to the place where they have the butcher. They have the animals, and I just look at that and say, "What the hell are we doing?" I look at that. It was huge. It was like all that death there. I was looking at it. No, this is not okay. This is not right. This cannot be right. This is totally wrong. We need to think about it. I need to think about it. And after that, it was when it all started. Because yeah, I was fighting for so many injustice, and what I was there seeing, it was one of the biggest injustices that I ever seen in my life. It was in the front of my eyes, so I could not just keep continued like living my life without doing anything about it. And
So
then
for you, it was just an epiphany that
yeah,
everything collided, all the injustices you had been
yeah,
fighting for, and having it that just epiphany right in front of your face, like whoa, you
yeah,
know.
it was huge. It was like a monstrous. My feeling was like I didn't use the word hell. It was the other word.
Yeah.
I will not use that word here.
That's okay.
but
You can use whatever you want here.
but it was,
I'm a small channel. It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it was really, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah.
What is this? What are we doing? This is not right. And then
So let me ask you: are any of your family or friends vegan? I mean, I'm sure you guys have a lot of friends now because you're so active. But what about
yeah,
your families, especially like Alice? You growing up with a family that had
mm,
farms?
No way. They don't
No way.
even understand the
yeah,
concept. They don't even understand what I do for a living. what I do, what I dedicate my whole life
Yeah,
to.
we're the crazy dudes that work
They
with
don't. They
animals.
just don't know.
They just have animals. They feed the animals, and they don't eat the animals. They are crazy. They are just
Yeah.
Do
working.
they still raise animals? You said he like switched out for sheep. Your grandfather switched
Yeah.
out for sheep, but do they still have? Because you said
Yeah.
that where you are is where they used to be, which means they're not there. That was shut down. But did
Hmm.
they
Mhm.
just change
They
location?
have another place where they have chickens and small birds that
And
they
your
raise
and
for.
you still your uncle still have
Yeah,
some
my uncle
sheep.
still has some sheep. He's a
Yeah.
hunter.
Yeah.
He has all these birds to kill, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's just if I try to explain to them what I do, what I dedicate my life to, it's like I'm talking Chinese to a German
yeah.
person. They just cannot understand
You're
what I'm talking
complete
about.
alien to
Yeah,
them.
it's completely alien to them, completely.
Yeah.
And I don't have any vegans in my family.
Okay.
But
Noel,
over
what
the
about?
years, yeah,
Yes.
over
I'm
the I
sorry,
was gonna
Noel. What
say about
about
my
you? Do you
friends.
have any
Yeah.
vegans in your family?
Actually, my mom became vegan some years ago. So she
Was
was
that from
always
your influence?
yes, yes.
Nice.
She was always a very sensitive person.
Mhm.
I have a lot of her in me, so I think it was natural. If I saw that injustice, she also saw the injustice, and she walked the same path. So now she's vegan. All the rest, my brothers just don't understand, and they don't understand the way I live, or my decisions. My father used to live with. There was a period like maybe 6 years ago that he was living with me, and during that time he was vegan because he was living there and eating my food every
Yeah.
day. I believe when he was going out, he was eating some cheese and something like that. But at least the biggest meals he was not doing it, and it was for more than a year. But then he came back to the old habits, and about friends, like the closest friends, like older friends. I believe there are at least vegetarians, but people that I don't have contact anymore. But I know there is something that some of them just did some changes. But yeah, then we have the friends that we met since we changed.
They're all vegan.
Yeah, they
We're
kind of become
surrounded by
family.
vegans.
Yeah. But Alice, I really don't think that, your story is so out there. I think when you hear somebody like Noel say his mom went vegan, that's more rare for us. I
Yeah.
think you share that in common with a lot of us, and that it's harder for us to talk to our family, or get through to them, that it is to a total stranger on the streets when we're doing activism. And I think
Hmm.
a lot of us share that in common. And even if we weren't raised on farms, you know what I mean? So to
Yeah.
hear somebody like Noel say that his mom went vegan, we're always like, yay, because we're like, why can't we get our moms
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go vegan? And we'll have that, they'll sympathize with us, or they'll even support our activism or whatever like that. But they still won't do it. They still won't
Yes.
grasp it enough. That's sometimes even more frustrating, to be honest with you. It's like, okay, you're sympathetic, you understand it, then why aren't you going vegan? You know?
Yeah. I have some maybe two or three older friends that every time I'm with them or I go to their places, they let me cook. They just say, okay, I know you are coming. The kitchen is yours. You can do or food I will eat with you. But after I leave, everything comes
Yeah.
to what it was before. But at least when I'm there, they are really sympathetic. That's the word. But it's frustrating because when we start to speak about it, usually the conversation just turns to the me and what I like and nothing else.
Yeah. So what it now that all right, you kind of told me, but I was going to ask you each, what do they think of your veganism now, especially since you've been activists? Now Alice, you're saying that your family just it's like alien to them. They aren't getting it at all. But what about some of the friends or Noel, your family members that aren't vegan that see your activism? You said that they're sympathetic, but what do they think of your activism? What do they think about what you do? And
Most
even
of
the
them,
sanctuary as well.
yeah, most of them really think that I'm crazy, and that I'm extreme. This is too extreme and
Radical.
radical. Yeah, because we are really living what we believe. Is not like just words that come out of our mouths. We are really living the way we are living in a minimalist way, out of the system, doing this work with animals, um, trying to reduce as much as possible our footprint. This is really like we are we are really aliens in the middle of all of this, because people really speak about changing habits, and we need to reduce this, we should do this, we should do that, but they never go for it.
Yeah.
And we are really giving a lot of steps in at the same time, in the way that we believe that we need to change. So it's really weird when we start to talk and they call us Nazis sometimes, because we are just,
Nazis.
yeah, because the
Radicals.
convictions are so strong that they need to call you names to
Yeah,
feel better.
because they feel, I think they feel guilt, you
Yeah,
know?
they need to feel better, so they call you names.
Yeah,
They call you stuff. So I kind of laugh of that.
yeah.
But nowadays I don't give much effort in trying to speak with friends or relatives about this subject. I'm just We live by example, we live our lives, and the others see, and the thing that we decided to do, and I think it was, even for our mental health, was really really a good thing, was try to work for uh like a more global public, not trying to change the ones that are really close to us, but work for the ones that are there looking at what we are doing. And a lot of people are just looking, and they want to feel related to something, they want to feel inspired. So that's what we are doing nowadays. It's like investing our time in changing the perspective of those people that we don't know. I think it's better.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people tell me that. They're like, I'm not going to worry about changing the minds of those people that are close. I'm going to worry about, everybody else. Because, yeah, sometimes they're too close,
Yeah.
and yeah, maybe that's why they don't see it. But what about, have they been out? Like, Alice, is your family, since the sanctuary is on the property where you grew up? I'm assuming, like, where you brought up the animals. I mean, have they been back there to see the change?
They have. They think it's great. It looks amazing.
It looks nice, but what do they think about? I mean, I guess maybe they just don't comment
You
on.
know, I was always the weird one in the family, so they just accept whatever. It's
Thank
like,
goodness for
well,
that.
this is from her, so yeah, it's her. They don't think a lot. I think my grandmother is confused every time she sees
Yeah.
the animals, but because she always looked at them from the perspective of utility, um, so she doesn't really understand why they are here. Um, but my mother, for example, she's very supportive. She's not the same side of the family, so she's very supportive of everything, and she understands. And my stepdad too.
But your
But
grandmother looks at, like, your chicken's a good. This chicken's a little old. Never seen one this old.
no, she was really like happy that there was
The-
so much change
yeah,
and everything is so nice.
there is one thing that almost all people respect. That is
Yeah,
that is
it's
work,
work,
Yeah,
and we are working a lot.
and we
yeah,
So
built everything from
we are
scratch.
building, we are working, we are just going with our hands, doing.
And people from the
Yeah,
countryside, they really value that.
they want when they see somebody just working a lot, they respect you just for
Yeah,
that.
just
So
for working.
but speaking of that, I want to share my screen with you one more time, and I'm just going to show just a couple of pictures. Hold on just a second if I can find it. Just a couple of pictures of you guys with the animals, and Let me see if I can find that. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. So there you are. This is a video of you. Oh, that's so sweet.
it's our Valente.
One of the
Valente.
babies.
So beautiful.
Valente.
And then you do a lot of activism here. I saw you just built a beautiful chicken house right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I saw that
Yeah,
recent post.
it's a sick chicken that we have that we cannot put her together with the other ones. So
That's a
because
nice quarantine house. I'd say it's like a
yeah,
Yeah.
vacation home there.
yeah,
So
but
you get,
I did my best just to her to feel special, you know. I don't know.
and then
That's how I fight speciesism. I try to make them feel
oh,
special.
that's sweet. But and then here's a picture of you.
This is the chicken, the one that I built a house for.
Oh, that's so sweet. So those are wonderful pictures. Those are wonderful pictures. And again, anything that we talk about during this, I will leave links to your social media, whatever groups, um, activism, whether it be activism groups at your sanctuary or whatever it is. Um, I'll leave all those links for people to check out below the video, and definitely support what you do, and see some more pictures on their own. So, so yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
any links to social media accounts, groups, anything, activism, anything. So, would you say it's easy or hard to be vegan where you live?
It's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So, what would you say are your struggles?
I don't have any.
You don't have any struggles being vegan?
Not
No.
anymore. No, I don't.
Yeah, I think we are what we achieved so far in terms of like personal growth and our relationship growth also, and the growth of our work just brought us to this point that we are feeling safe, you know. We are feeling like people people are losing the power of hurting us. That's, I think this is the way that you can say, because usually you let people hurt you
Yeah.
because you are not okay, because you are fragile or something like that. But when you are really there, we are when you are in peace, and we are really safe and secure of what you are doing, people stop hurting you, because you stop giving them that power. So I think that's why she's saying this right now.
Yeah, I understand. And a lot of people, their answer is the struggle is other people. And I think what you're trying to say is that that's no longer your struggle. You
Mhm.
don't
Yeah,
let other people be a struggle for you.
yeah.
But do you guys like, so you're a modern society there? But even in the smaller towns, would you say that you can easily get like alternatives to leather down toiletries that are vegan and cruelty free? All that stuff
Mm.
is available easily to you.
Mm,
Food,
I wouldn't say.
food is really
Yeah,
available.
food is simple. You
Yeah.
just have to make some of the dishes, and they're all vegetable. Some vegetables in each one.
And the things that you find on the supermarkets right now, there are a lot of things, even for the ones more lazy that just want the burgers and
Yeah,
the
So you have
more
all the Beyond Burgers and the
yeah,
Chow cheese.
all the different
we have
plant-based
we have imitations of the Beyond. We don't have the Beyond everywhere.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's
But
very rare.
there are a lot of companies, even the big surfaces are investing in having also those alternatives.
Alternatives, yeah.
In terms of clothing
Clothing.
is not so easy. It's expensive and not so easy. But we the way we're living, we can do it. But in terms of like cosmetics and stuff,
It's not that easy.
it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Cosmetics is the hardest one. To be cruelty free and vegan, there's a lot of vegan things, but they are not cruelty free.
They
Okay.
belong
So
to also to big companies like Unilever or something like that. So
yeah.
I
we
was going to
avoid that.
say, is it also maybe there's sometimes restrictions in certain countries where it has to be tested on animals in certain countries, but I didn't know if
There
that
are
was
some
true.
brands that are completely vegan
Hmm.
and cruelty free.
It's just that you
But
don't find them very much.
yeah,
No,
it's not. It's only in specific
yeah, you
shops.
buy online or you go to specific shops. Is not for somebody that is like changing and still
Yeah.
don't know everything about what this reality is not easy. It's not easy to find. In some of the groups or that we have online here in Portugal, like vegan groups on internet or Facebook, one of the questions that we see that there a lot is where do I can I find like a shampoo, vegan
Yeah.
shampoo, cruelty free. A lot of times we see these questions because it's not something that you find with easy.
Very easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see that's kind of what I was asking. Like for example, as a vegan, if I came over to visit, which I would love to, by the way, if I were to come over to visit, how hard would it be for me to find like shampoo, toiletries, stuff like that?
Mhm.
So you would just suggest that if that is something on your itinerary to come to Portugal as a vegan, you might want to prepare or yourself or look into ahead of time.
Yes,
But
especially if you go to small
yeah,
towns.
if you go to
If you go
Lisbon,
to Lisbon and
it, it,
Porto, you're
it's
fine.
different because you
Yeah.
have a lot of vegan shops there.
Mhm.
Like I don't know how many, but you can find totally vegan, cruelty free. But of course, if you're going to a city in the north interior or something like that, yours is going to be the basic, and the basic is what people buy. Even but actually, it's kind of sometimes we have like surprises. We go to places and we find, oh, look what is here. How?
Yeah.
But it happens like in the middle of like a small market, you find one product that don't belong there. That
Yeah.
is a vegan product.
That's
It's
great
sometimes
though. That's great
yeah,
when you find those things.
yeah.
There's been a few times I've been traveling and I've been in a small area and it's all of a sudden it's like, whoa, look at this. There's something vegan right here.
Yeah, I don't need
Yeah.
it, but I will buy it
Yeah,
anyway.
I did that the other day. It was fava beans. It was like a snack. It was like
Yeah.
fried fava beans. And they were supposed to be like chips, like a snack
Yeah.
that you buy at a gas station. And it was like a gas station where we just stopped to get gas. And I didn't expect to see this. And I don't remember why I had gone inside, but I just happened to be, as I was walking out, see it. And it was expensive. But I said, damn it, I have to buy this because I have to show that somebody will buy this.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Exactly.
feeling.
And you know what? It was
Supporting.
delicious, but it was really expensive. That's so funny. Oh, so we already talked about veganism, but all the animal rights that you do. What do people think about not just veganism where you live, but what do people think about animal rights where you live? I mean, are they accepting of veganism? Obviously, you said that there's shops, there's groups, there's stuff like that. You're saying they're pretty much you know, accepting of veganism. Do you think people understand it for the most part?
I think so.
Okay, but
I
what
think
about
that
animal rights? Because there's a difference there. A lot of
Yeah.
people think veganism is a
I
diet.
think people accept more animal rights than veganism.
Do you think
Some
so?
people, yes. Some people will go against the word vegan, but they are completely for animals. They think in their
No,
minds
but
they're
yeah.
totally supportive of animal
Welfare. I
rights.
think it's more about welfare
They
than
think it's
animals.
animal
Yeah.
rights because there's this division, this speciesist division between species. But we see from our work online that we have more and more people supporting the animal rights movement,
Yeah.
and it's really growing like exponentially every month, which is amazing.
Wonderful.
And yeah, I would say yes. But if you go more into the interior of the country, they have more difficulties understanding both things, like veganism and animal rights, because you have animals to eat and you have animals for company, and it's the way their mentality still works. So it's more
As long
enclosed,
as they have like a human death, it's everything's okay.
humane
Humane
death,
humane death.
humane slaughter. Yeah,
Everything is
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
that's what we need to work for. You should, that people say, you should be working so the animals will not suffer.
Right.
So that we can kill them nicer.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like
Painlessly.
they're still dying. Do you understand
Yes.
Yeah.
that part? I don't
They
think
have
they
to
really
die.
care whether it's nice or bad. They
But
just
if we
Yeah.
don't kill them, they will eat us, right?
We've
yeah,
had
it's
people
the
saying
same
that.
it's the
Yeah.
same thing. That's so universal, when I talk to
Yeah,
Yes.
people all
and
over
it's
the
so
world, we have
silly.
so
It's
many
Yeah.
things
so
in common.
that's why we decided just every time people start to speak like this, we just okay,
It's okay.
never mind.
But you
Some
guys do
people,
so much activism over there. It looks like you do marches and all. I mean, how often are you guys active with the Save over there? Do you do vigils with
yes.
slaughterhouses and stuff? You have a
Yeah,
lot of slaughterhouses there.
we
Yes.
have, yeah. In this area, we don't have a lot, but there's a lot of slaughterhouses in Portugal,
How
for
ironic would
such a
it be
small
if you ever had to
country.
have a vigil outside your family's farm back then? That would have been ironic, right?
It
Uh,
would.
but but what about that? How do people receive that? Do you get a lot of support for the Save for the when you because Save does a lot of their posting online. I think
Hmm.
is exposure. You get a lot of support for that.
Yes, yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
we try to use, like, for example, the videos. We try to use it again to speak with people, to invite them to be there with us. Even there were periods in our activities that we were there together, and sometimes even I was there alone, or she was there alone, and we were doing our job, like bearing witness, and just taking pictures and recording, and then showing to people the faces of the victims. And and usually we use that now with the live technology on the social media. We do the lives, and we do a lot of engaging, and start to speak with the people in the other side. They made questions. We try to do this work of involving people.
People
It's
more.
not just showing uh, mm, of activism, speaking to the camera. It doesn't matter. Just showing what is going on, and invite people just to feel what we are feeling there. And it's running really well in every time we do that. Even we participate also in the bullfighting protest, because we still have bullfighting here in Portugal, and we also do that. We engage a lot of people. Every time we have a chance of putting people with us somewhere, we do it, and we have like hundreds of thousands of people just there with us. And
Yeah.
in terms of like street activism, we do every month something.
Yeah.
We always have something, or for ourselves, or without other collectives from Lisbon. We are going to have, like, next weekend, we are going to have with a chapter of Direct Action here. Sometimes we join forces and we do things with them. We try to be as busy as we can, because
You're very
with,
busy,
with
from
yeah,
what I can see.
with with the pandemic, activism suffered a lot, and a lot of people just disappear, and they are not. We feel that many people just are not coming back after all this period of como é que se diz, tivemos
Quarantined.
quarantines and all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Confinement.
Confinement, yeah. After all, a lot of people are not coming back. A lot of activists are not coming back. We are a little bit worried about it. So if we don't do it, I think nobody else is going to do it, and it's a concern that we have right now. I think we have to start this all over again, of engaging with people with activism, and trying to make them go out again, and organizing stuff, organizing demos and manifs and whatever.
Demonstrations and
Demonstrations.
protests.
Yeah.
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 So, with all the activism that you do, what would you say is your favorite form of activism?
Hmm.
I love politics. That's what. Yeah, I love the game of lobbying also.
Do you
Um,
get involved in that, like petitions
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
legislation and going to city? Well, I don't know. Here it's called city council. I don't know what it's called there.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Like that.
similar. Usually we do it for the government. Um, and I like the contacts, the way that like dealing with like politicians and governments, and I think it's interesting because we learn a lot with those experiences, and even the way we speak, the way we transmit our message can be really political, and I like that way of communication. It's not personal. When I rather have a political conversation, or a conversation, or a political approach, than a personal approach, because it's not. My opinion is not important. What is important is what we represent as society, or the ideology,
Ideology.
ideology, and the ethics, and all that kind of more philosophical, political stuff. So for me, I think is that.
I never asked myself that question because I do all of them.
Mm.
And I don't do it because I like them. I just do them because I have to do it because it's
Mhm.
Necessary.
necessary, and it should be a civic obligation.
Yeah. I,
So
well, I
I
agree
never,
with you.
yeah, I never asked
Yeah, but
myself
but
that
you like
question.
adrenaline. She likes when we go to investigate and
Yeah,
to.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
I mean,
that's
favorite.
what.
what I guess how I really should say it, because you just gave me a new perspective on that question. And it's not really a favorite form of activism as far as we enjoy the fact that we have to be active at all.
Yeah,
It's mainly, I guess, what do you feel like you're best at, or you're more
Hmm.
productive at, or you're reaching
Yeah,
people at? Where do you feel like you're really getting, helping the animals the most? I guess is how I mean
it's
yeah,
that.
social media.
yeah. For her, it's
Social
social
media.
media.
Because I do all the managing of social media platforms, and we reach millions of people every month. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
There you go.
We had
There
the
you go.
reach
Mhm.
next month on Facebook near 7 million people. That was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
it's
really
a lot,
amazing.
a lot of her work that she does every day. It's incredible.
Well, thank you so much for being here, because now you just gave me a little more clout. So, can I ask you, how many animals do you have now at the sanctuary?
uh,
I don't.
58,
Yeah,
58 animals?
I
yeah.
think so.
Mostly pigs. Yeah,
Okay. Do
yeah.
you
Because
feel, Alice, do you feel a little bit of like you have some making up to do to the pigs that you
Oh,
grew up with?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, and I will make up for it until I
Situation.
die.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have that very present in my mind and in my
Yeah.
soul,
And
especially
you'll
with
draw it.
pigs,
Sure.
and that's why we have so many babies, so many piggies.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
understand. Plus,
yeah,
they're
they're
unfortunately easy to get, because not only do people raise them for food, but a lot of people um, raise potbellies for as pets, and
hmm
then they abandon them. And
yes, here too.
there's just always seems to be pigs
Mhm.
available for a home
yeah,
Yes,
rehome.
yeah.
here is the same exact thing. We have right now. We have
We have a lot of pot bellies that were like from people that just yeah, they have this
we have
weird.
15 potbelly pigs here
Yeah,
now. No, we have 19.
because
Four were born last
this
week.
week, next week, last week, yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
we were,
one of our local sanctuaries that I like to go to is, it's been a while. I wish I could get out there. I'd like to soon. But anyway, she's often taken on a couple of cases where it's just like multiple pigs at a time, that came from a dire situation. And it's just like one night she'll just get like 15 pigs. And yeah, a lot of them have been pot bellies or hoarding situations or something like that. And it's
Yeah.
just awful.
So horrible. And people just let them breed. That's the problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
This one pig that had 4 babies, we were not expecting that because we normally we rescue, and we castrate all the males straight away.
Yeah.
But this group was a group of 20 pigs. We found homes for most of them, but 5 of them came to us to the sanctuary. And we think another one is also pregnant. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
it happened when it happened that it was like 1 day or 2 days before we get them, because
Yeah,
Sure.
they were here for more than 3 months, and now they are getting birth.
giving birth.
Giving
Yeah.
birth. So
Wow.
it was right in
Yeah, but it's
2 days
a
2 days
problem.
before, and this was not be happening. But yeah.
So, are you guys ever expanding your
We
your
are.
sanctuary?
This project is supposed to be like a transitional center. We have our family that is about 40 animals that will be permanent here, but some of them will be transitioning to, after they've been rehabilitated and castrated and vaccinated, then they will go to other homes.
Other sanctuaries, other people that have really good conditions to have animals.
Yeah, we work a lot with people so they can create micro sanctuaries and take in animals from this species that are normally not seen as company.
That's the only way we can continue to rescue and to save like hundreds every year. So we cannot keep them all. It's it's not going to work.
And you offer them support
Yeah.
and education on that. That's another job you do. Good grief.
Yes.
I'm exhausted just talking to you.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And sometimes we go there just to build stuff like fences and shelters.
Wow.
Also in the other places, we kind of do that also. Now less than that we spent like 2 years only doing that, just rescuing, finding places, helping people to have the right conditions, giving everything that we could. But now, since we decided to build this center, because we really needed to like having a quarantine zone, especially because when you rescue animals, you don't have a place to put it to feed, to see if they are healed, if they have some disease for.
Yeah, sometimes that's a really hard part of it is when you get a bunch of new animals in, and it's like you've got to have a whole quarantine area, and it just makes things really difficult.
So this was the main idea behind this project, like having this place to do that. And yeah,
that's wonderful. Wow, we need to clone you guys. We need to clone you guys.
That will be interesting. I would like that.
So, if a vegan visits where you live, where should they go? That doesn't have to be a restaurant, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be the sanctuary, right?
No.
Do you have visitors there?
We don't want people here.
I want the animals.
I didn't know. That's why I asked. Some do, some don't.
Yeah, we have some people coming, but we don't accept many visitors.
We don't want to stress the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Too many people can stress them. So
where would you recommend a vegan go?
The mountains.
Yeah.
The seaside. The seaside is really beautiful. We have like a big mountain here in Setúbal. It's called Serra da Rábida, and we can just go up there and see the view. It's amazing. It's like the natural richness of this area is really something that we could recommend. Yeah.
It's more interesting than restaurants, I would say.
What's that?
It's more interesting than the restaurants that exist in this area.
Do you have
the
any
nice
vegan
restaurants exist in Lisbon. They're all
but
there.
There are already some vegan places in Setúbal, so.
But they're not interesting, like super interesting. The ones in Lisbon
they have
are
black bean burgers.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Our kitchen is more interesting.
Yeah.
But hey, if you have any restaurants to recommend, again, I'll leave links below the video. If you do, for anybody that visits, any resources whatsoever. So,
I will give you.
What's that?
I will give you some. I will give you some.
Because I might be coming soon. You never know.
Please do.
I would love to see Portugal. I would. understand that it is an incredibly beautiful area, and
You have a place to stay if you do.
well, thank you, and I will work hard to repay for that. So I'll make sure to go out. Hey, I that's my life. I get shit all over me every day. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it like that. I know how to
That's
shovel
how
shit.
it is.
So what would your be your favorite local vegan dish that a vegan should try if they come there? You're saying, see,
Vegan
you all
sushi.
right. You're saying that you grew up though with not a lot of vegetables, so I don't know if you'd really have a local vegan dish where you're at.
Oh, local? No.
No,
Yeah,
there's no.
No.
but what
No,
about
but
that can be
actually,
easily veganized?
actually we have a vegan dish, and you already spoke about it.
Okay.
We have a traditional dish that is like it's called peixinhos da horta.
Oh yeah.
That is the origin of tempura. You know.
Yeah.
Tempura. Okay.
Yeah, and they do it with green bean, like the long green bean,
Oh yeah.
and they with tempura and fry. And it is traditional from
Yeah.
Portugal.
That's where it came from.
You find that in a lot of restaurants. So, and it's vegan. You know,
Yeah.
Yum.
people
I love
just
those.
yeah, people just eat it and when say, "Oh, you are eating vegan," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like vegan food. What? You never had an apple?
Yeah.
You never had a green bean?
No,
All right. So how could they get involved in the local vegan community?
Hmm. It's easy through social media nowadays. You just look for chapters that exist in all these international movements, and you might be able to contact them directly to ask for to know more, or just check the events that are scheduled normally on Facebook. All the groups have the events. If they're organizing, they will be scheduled on the page, so they're visible. But I think that's the easiest way,
yeah,
right?
And again, if you have any links to any of the groups or
Mm-hmm.
organizations, it'll be below the video. So finally, where would you like to visit one day and learn about veganism there?
Like anywhere?
Like anywhere. I would say that you haven't been, obviously.
I don't know.
You don't know. You haven't thought about this before.
No.
It can be anywhere in the world. Where do you think you would like to go and learn about veganism there?
Japan.
Okay.
oh my god. I just for me it's like I was never really a traveling guy. I have never had that kind of desire of traveling around the
That
world.
curiosity, you've never had that kind of
I
curiosity?
travel sometimes. I went, but I never. I went out of Europe. We were in Canada and United
Yeah, I was gonna
States.
say I saw pictures of you guys at
Yeah,
the LC in
we were there
Toronto.
Yeah.
2 years ago, but
Three.
no,
Three
I
or
was
two.
there. I was there
Oh
for
yeah.
yeah,
the huge cube they did.
Oh,
yeah,
cool. We were there too.
yes.
I was
We
and the march, yeah.
the march, yeah, the march was intense with all the rain that came in the
Yeah.
middle of it.
Mhm.
But I had this curiosity to go to this area of the globe where is like Vietnam and uh, that area. I think
Indonesia.
something
Mm.
there that I could like to see,
Yeah.
but but I don't know. I
Yeah.
think this is the only place that I have some curiosity to visit.
Sure. And
Yeah.
by the way, I did recently do an interview with vegan in Japan. So
Oh,
Mm.
nice. I think
yeah,
I saw a short, brief of the video. I
yeah,
can't
he and his
remember.
wife are known on social media as the Vegan Couple Japan or
Mm-hmm.
or Vegan Couple Japan. The links on there. But yeah, I'm hoping to. It's hard to get a hold of people in Vietnam, but I have been trying. So if you do, let me know.
Okay.
I will try.
Okay.
All right. So I do have one final question. This is a surprise question. Do you
Hmm.
like pizza?
Yes.
Yes, we like
Yeah.
pizza.
All
Yeah.
right. Pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
Yes.
No, no,
Yes.
Alice wins. Alice
Yes.
wins.
no, 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 never.
Yes. Always.
Yeah,
Team
it's even worse.
pineapple.
Yeah.
No, no pineapple, no pepperoni. No. All
That's not the
wrong.
same as
No, it's
pepperoni.
every. That's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
Pepperoni's wrong. Pineapple is not. All right. Well, we've got a
Pineapple is
half and
good.
I have to say this is probably the first time I've asked this question that we got half and half. So, but I'm team pineapple
Really?
all the way. So,
Yeah.
if I come to visit, you just won't have any pizza, Noel. Won't have any
I will
pizza.
have my the pizza that I described with mushrooms and garlic and onions
You
and
can
olives,
still have all that and enjoy
yeah,
it.
but no pineapple.
I always have this discussion with him. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, really? That is funny.
Yeah.
See, I haven't had that fight with anybody that I've lived with. So, I guess I've been lucky. I guess I've been lucky.
Yeah.
But you
We
know
don't
what?
fight.
We
What's
don't eat a
that?
lot of pizza.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will not fight. But she was.
I
I will
get
ask
pizza for
one.
me.
Can I ask with with pineapple? Yes, you can ask one for you with pineapple, of course.
Well, that's good. If you're making more than one, then it's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
Yes, of
that's it.
course.
All right. Well, we've been on here for about an hour, so and I know that you guys have been working hard all day, and it's getting late for you. So I really, again, I so appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule and long day to stop and talk to us a little bit. And I know you're going to sleep well tonight.
I will.
As hard as you get. That's probably one thing. You guys probably sleep really well.
I don't.
Some
You
days,
don't.
yeah.
I don't because I'm always keeping my eyes active because of the animals. Like if one of them
Sure.
starts talking, I'm awake in 1 second. Like it's not normal. Why is
Yeah,
it
but I
Yeah.
would think
talking?
with
I
as
have to get up.
hard, you at least like sleep. I would sleep hard with as hard as you guys work.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Too
No,
many
but
babies.
yeah, which is that we are just worried about this. That's cool, you know.
Yeah.
Sure, that's understandable.
It's
Yeah.
a motherly thing, you
Yeah.
know. You're caring for them
And sometimes we have somebody sick, and we are just worried. And sometimes it happens a lot. We hear a lot of noise during the night. I just jump
yeah.
and go
Jump
outside.
out of the
Yeah.
bed. We have foxes and they sometimes come around and
Yeah.
looking for the chickens.
They are all secure during the night because we
Yeah.
have everything really anti predators. But
I think you gain that sixth sense, though, don't you?
Yeah.
When you have those animals to care for, so
Mm.
it's like you're
Yeah.
very hyper vigilant. All right, but I'll let you go because I know that you have had a long day. So, again, do you guys have anything that you want to tell us before we let you go?
No,
just thank you.
Just thank you.
It was really
Yeah.
cool to have this conversation. I really enjoy it.
I really enjoyed it. Yes.
So
Great,
thank you a
I'm so
lot.
happy.
It was a different ending of our day,
Yeah.
and at least I feel really relaxed right now, and thank you for that because
Yes. It was
this
nice.
moment was like an extra good thing in our day. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's
Thank you.
tasty.
Thank you so much. Well, I do hope we'll keep in touch. I'm going to see you on social media. I know you're busy, but I hope we keep in touch, and I will keep up with what you guys are up to. If I ever
Please
make it
do.
over there, I'll make sure to let you know.
Yes. Let
All
us
right.
know.
All
Yes.
right. Good night.
Talk soon. Bye.
All
Good
right.
night,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. So that was wonderful. Thank you. Everybody, another wonderful guest, this time two wonderful guests. And yeah, so hardworking. Got to have a lot of admiration for them and all that they do. And seriously, if you check out their social media, again, check out all the links below for anything that we talked about. But if you check out all their social media, you'll get to see what they've been up to, and it's nonstop. So Please support everything that they're doing. They're doing incredible work over there. So, again, like, subscribe if you haven't already, comment below the video, share. Everything helps these videos get out there to show people what it's like to be vegan around the world, and that we have so much in common, and that you can be vegan wherever you are. If you want to know who I'm going to have next week, you're just going to have to show up. All right. Bye.